Also, Evelyn, we heard one of the tracks once because we heard a demon talk through a record, and I'm pretty sure it was Chris singing.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean that one was pretty bad, but that's one of them too. But this one was this is like a pure original thing, and it actually fits so well. Like it fits perfectly for what I needed to do. So I guess I got lucky. Oh, also, I thought I fixed the audio. Can someone check just to see so if they can hear me? Someone just messaged me and said they could not.
We don't have a link to the live.
Oh yeah, let me get it for you. I don't know how Randall gets the. I think it's because he's subscribed or something. Let's see. I do appreciate that, Randall, who's listening right now. I really, really appreciate that. All right, so I do appreciate that, Randall, who's listening right now. That's good.
Go ahead and test it. I found your channel.
Okay. I put in the Candela Obscura too as well.
Oh, gotcha now. I see it now.
But yeah, so do I sound like low and mumbly compared to everyone else? I know that was a thing. I thought I fixed it.
Yeah, it's still really quiet for you. I came off really, really loud.
Okay. Alright, well I'll fix that next session. That's really good to know. I don't know why that's the case yet, but we'll see. Okay. Alright. Yeah, sorry about that. But the link is up now and I'm gonna put everything in Discord.
Chris, the audio from the stream is from Discord, right?
It is. Well, it's also from my.
Can you toggle on the? There's an option on Discord that you can set everyone else volumes down when you were speaking. Maybe that kind of balances the.
Yeah,
this audio difference.
Try that. I think it's also my mic. I think that's where it gets really confusing. Is I think it's also coming directly from my mic. But let me try that anyway, just to be safe, because. Yeah. I mean, I do have an output volume that's down. I don't think that makes sense, but I'm gonna put it up just to see. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, maybe that's that. We'll see. Anyway, we'll get that up, and I'll try to fix this next time. This is annoying. I did at least get the stream brighter, so. Okay. Sorry, I think I interrupted the recap too. Was that finished? Can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, alright.
I think we didn't start it yet, the recap.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll let you start. Sorry about that.
Ace, did you want to help me?
Yeah, for sure.
Sure. Okay, cool. So starting off with my notes, if it's jumbled, I apologize. Correct me if it's needed. Last session, we were in our dormitories where we started out. Some strange disembodied voice talked to Evelyn, asking her to speak with it. She was really skeptical, and the whole party said he was a jackass anyway, so we ignored him for the time being. But out of the corner of Evelyn's eye, she saw this small disturbance, and upon investigation, could see some kind of creature. So we did our best to bribe it with some candies and become friends, and that was apparently the key to its heart, so it came out.
And sorry,
that?
Can you put yourself on push to talk? Thank you, Evelyn. You're doing an amazing job. It's just there's a ton of static on Ace's mic, but it's just because it's coming through. If you put it on push to talk to Ace, it'll fix this. Anyway, sorry, Evelyn.
No big deal. No big deal. And we, where was I? Oh, Pepper told us that it is called a quazzle. And correct me if I'm saying that wrong. But he's super cute. He has a big bulb on the end of his tail, so if he whacks you with it, you'll turn into stone, so don't get on his bad side. Quiggles was his name, and he started telling us a bunch of cryptic stuff. We had questions about the students that had gone missing, and a few things that he said was Rain, Zyre, blocked. Don't like the blocked. And he said Lascana and then bad things 3 times. He admitted that he was a baby, and the rest is history. So we've become friends, bribing the little creature with some candies to stay in our dormitory so we can ask it future questions. Upon talking with Pepper, Pepper mentioned that their mom was a lichen, or a lichen. I don't know if I'm saying that right. So we asked Quiggles about Pepper's mom, and Quiggles revealed that Pepper was actually lied to about their mom. So we found out that Pepper's mom was likely in the Dark Forest, and for us to be able to find her, we could need to go in there. Luckily, we had some wits about us. We didn't want to go in unprepared. We know that it's going to be a pretty scary adventure. So we took a pit stop at the library to see if we can find any new information about the Dark Forest. Upon entering, there wasn't a lot of students there, so we were able to sneak into the restricted section. And this is where Niall's super awesome abilities came in handy. They got us snuck into the area, and we were pretty much home scot-free. Be able to do a lot of research. We found a few journals about the Dark Forest, about some spiders that live there, a witch coven that lives there, and also found kind of like a scribbled, drawn-out map to kind of lead us on our way. When we got into the restricted section, we also wanted to do some research on the gods that Quiggles had mentioned. And the brave ones amongst us were able to successfully read these books without being overcome. A lot of different things that we learned was that from Rain, spelled R-A-Y-N, I wrote that down. He's an eldritch god of pure passion, rage, domination, and murder. Kaida picked this one up and was able to read from this book and found a new skill of true intimidation. So Kaida can now intimidate the shit out of somebody. And then the next one was the unknown god. We did some research on this unknown god. Where were we? Who picked up the Black Onyx books? Ace, was that you? Ace, if you're talking, you're muted.
Yeah, it was Ace though.
Okay. We were able to find out that, this unknown god was trying to disguise itself as Zyre, but really found out that they were called Quailine. They're a trickster god, and they hate their brothers and sisters, and their brothers and sisters forgot that they even exist. And then the last book that we discovered was the book on Lascana, or the god of lust. So they are created from other beings, infiltrated Zyre's school as well. Who opened this book, because they got a special power. Now they can kind of like seduce people into doing things that they want them to, which is honestly a really powerful skill. I forget. Was that?
That was me.
Yeah, that was Robin. And then from there, we kind of left it off. We did a lot of research. I think we were all heeding the warnings of our DM and don't want to die. So with some information about the Dark Forest, and some information about these gods that Quiggles has mentioned, we are embarking on our next chapter to see if we're ready to head into the Dark Forest and have a little family reunion for Pepper.
One last thing. So the other thing the group did that was seriously important is that you guys found a secret antechamber. And in that antechamber, you were able to get into there a little bit, but unfortunately you just didn't have the magical tools or abilities to go further. But you now know that that room exists underneath the forbidden chambers of the library.
I stopped taking notes for that section. I was too enthralled with all the cool graphics. Completely
Also,
forgot it even happened.
I was
think
terrified.
Niles was the one who
Sorry.
found a clockwork hummingbird
Yes.
and
Yep.
took the key out of it, but the hummingbird itself flew away.
Yes.
Seems to cause a little ruckus on the library.
Yes. So, as you guys were going back to your room, so this happens immediately after. As you're going back to your room, there is a literal letter that flies over here. Everybody roll a d6 for me. Let's see where it lands. Just a d6. You can roll it in person. And then just tell me your results.
Failure.
Oh, when you said real dice, I was like, an opportunity for my new dice.
Yeah,
But
well, that's
I rolled. Oh no, I rolled on here. Anyways, 5.
okay.
Evelyn
Okay,
also got a 5.
awesome. Okay, so between the two,
I was the one that failed.
I was one
Roll
that.
one.
yep.
Oh, wait, no,
nobody
you
got
didn't.
higher than a 5, right? Just the two. That
Nobody got higher than a 5, no.
And that was, sorry, that was Kaida and Evelyn. Is that right?
Correct.
I got a 4.
Oh, Kaida got a 4. Okay.
Niles.
So Niles and Evelyn. Okay. So
Niles,
out of
yeah.
Niles and Evelyn, it actually lands in your pocket, Niles. The letter lands in your pocket. You notice this though because it's glowing, and it's literally it has wings and it flies literally into your pocket. It's very unnerving because it's the pocket in your robe, and it's still like vibrating, fluttering, and it's warm. And it's glowing really, really brightly, so brightly you can see it through the material. But it's definitely a letter. You saw it as it flew in. It's some kind of letter.
Ooh. I'm gonna be like, what the heck, and pull it out and look at it.
As you do, it unravels itself, and it says, "I saw you near the hospital. I think we have
What the heck,
aligned
and pull it
goals.
out and look at it.
Why don't you come back and let's have a talk?" It's not signed
I'm not
by
gonna-
anyone.
Okay, I'm not gonna read it out loud, but I'm gonna show it to the group so they can see it.
As you guys are walking, you're literally just steps away from where you were. I'm gonna say that you easily know how to get back, or you can continue on and go back to your ways. It's up to you.
Okay, let's go investigate.
Yeah, guys, should we go? Yeah, let's go back.
All right, so you guys do start to walk back up. What I'm going to do on the new travel time, by the way, is I'm not going to say anything as we start to travel because this is going to end up being a thing. We'll see, and I'll let you guys just talk amongst yourselves as this happens. Now, you get to hear and you see there is a gentleman waiting by the door. This is not a student. He has a long cloak on. His hands almost blur as he kind of goes back and forth. And he's looking around very nervously. Do you want to continue to walk up to him? It is very possible he is the one who sent that missive to you. What would you like to do?
Evelyn's gonna walk right up to him and stick out her hand and say, "Hi, I'm Evelyn. You sent us a letter?"
Yeah, so he goes to you and he says, "Hello, my name is Graves, miss. Do you know who I am?"
I don't believe I have the pleasure.
Niles is gonna copy his body language with just the random kicking and like swinging around. It's just gonna mimic that.
Yeah. So, my name is Lunas Graves. I'm the current Grand Master. And then he stops himself and he says, I really shouldn't be talking like this outside of it, but I'm the Grand Master of the Groundskeepers. He says, and it's strange because he uses plural in his name. And he says, but I have a very, very, very important task for you. Now, I have to talk to you quickly. It's not going to be good if we're seen together, but I can unlock this door behind you, and I can get you in. I don't know why you're there, but I need you to do something for me quickly if you can. But this comes with, not only am I giving you a great responsibility here, but because I'm above the teachers, and you'll find there are many of us that are above teachers and professors, we answer to much higher authorities. It's just something in the school. As a matter of fact, Ramirez, you're talking to one right now. But I need you to get time yourself for me.
Silth? What's that?
Oh, he says, of course. You haven't had any kind of formal schooling yet, right? Have you even taken a class yet?
Oh, we've been playing hooky this whole time.
See, you don't have to lie to me. I know that you're taking orders from someone high up in Slytherin. You know she's not a real professor either. And here's how this works, he says. She's probably just getting you in situations hoping that you get killed to wipe you under the rug. There are others that you could work with, like myself, that will offer you far more things to get you better prepared. For starters, let me get you into classes formally. You're not in classes, right? Do you even... Now, you normally don't get a wand until you're a third-year student, but has anyone even talked to you about that? Did you even know that?
Evelyn's gonna look around the group, knowing that everyone's kind of like pining for a wand, and says, well, no, we didn't know that. And so happens that a few of us in this group are wanting to obtain a wand.
He said, see. He said also, did you know that you could be learning enchantments today? Why hasn't this woman taught you any? I mean, you're doing dangerous work, I assume, right? Well, tell you what, it's fine. Tell you what, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to align yourself or anything. As a matter of fact, I'd prefer you don't mention me at all to that woman. But if you're willing to do some things for me, I will make sure that you are properly cared for, and we will start a proper education for you. As a matter of fact, we'll start by me teaching you something. And he says, first and foremost, who was the one who got the golden invitation? And the rest of you, I assume, were working in the group? That's normally how it is. You were, what, doing some kind of probably paranormal work or some kind of magical research work from where you're from? Is that right?
It was me who got the invitations, and
Oh.
yeah, you're basically right. It's
Perfect, he said. Well, he said, you don't have a wand, but I can still teach you this enchantment. You are going to have to be careful. You'll have to cast it on everyone. And if you miscast it, there are, of course, some dangers. But I'm going to help you cast it first so you don't have to be in danger this time. I'm going to make all of you invisible so you can still be in the hospital, because otherwise you'll get caught. Did I make myself clear? The hospital is very interesting. The hospital wing is a little known area within Hogwarts. Normally it's open. Now, as you can see, it's closed. I've already unlocked the gate for you. He said, but most importantly, the hospital wing houses the main clock underneath. It will be very obvious. There's a hallway as you go up. This hallway is lined with pictures. You will see a ton of very intricate gears. Time Sylph only something that I can harvest through the gears of that clock. You see, the clock itself is a defense item. I'll just tell you, there's no harm in this. Now, this is information that you should not go around telling other people. They will ask you how you got it. This is information students aren't meant to know, but I'm going to tell you. See, the school has a bunch of defenses built for worst case scenarios. One of them is it can literally stop time, and everyone else attuned to the actual mechanism will be able to move freely. As you can imagine, let's say we were invaded. If I can move and you can't, well, I win, right? Right? Well, I need time sylph. Time sylph is a byproduct of those gears on the clock. It's literally this grayish metallic filings that accumulate on the gears themselves. Someone, hopefully you have someone in the group that can do this, will need to climb on the main gear and just take it carefully from the spinning gears behind it. But I'm sure you can work it out. Get me some of this, and I will start you on a proper educational journey and do what I can to protect you, as I fear you're already in kind of a perilous situation. But it's not just that. I will also tell you one other thing. So when you get to the hospital, to the main area, it'll be obvious where that is. There is a unicorn statue with a basin underneath it. This basin is infused with unicorn tears. It is an amazingly potent healing mechanism, and he points to your owl. He says it can do things like grow back feathers, help burn victims. It can't really grow back limbs, but it can even fix certain maladies. And he points to your scarring that you can just faintly see on your arm eyes. He said it could help with that. No guarantee. Depends on how you got it. But things like that, very, very important. So I'm already giving you something that's vastly important. But I need something else from you. I need time sylph, and then I need you to sneak into the perfect room. And I need you to sketch a picture of the mermaid fresco. Hopefully there's an artist here. If not, well, first let me ask, is there an artist here? Can someone sketch a reasonable replica? Only perfects are allowed in that room. You'll see why. It's pretty obvious. It's a bathroom, but not really. You'll see.
Ace can, but
can't,
I can
yeah.
also take photos of as well.
Wonderful. Photo as well. So I want to sketch and perfect. Wonderful. Ah, wonderful. That makes me feel better. All right. So time sylph and the photo and the sketch. You do that for me.
Why?
I will teach
Why
you.
us?
He said, quite honestly, I'm not really sure I can trust any students, but you seem to be in the right predicament that I can probably trust you, as you probably need me just as much as I need you right now.
Can I try and do a read roll?
Yeah, of course, you can always do a reroll, yeah.
Okay. I was like, I don't think I have good read, but just in case.
Of course you can, yeah. Yep.
Sorry, I just realized I do not have my sheet up. It is loading. I think it's 1.
He said he is the Grand Master Groundskeepers, by the way.
Ooh, full success.
Alright, so he's very nervous. You don't get any kind of blatant suspicion that he is outwardly lying to you, but of course it's possible. But what you do get from him, more than anything, is he does not want to be seen talking to students right before you go in, and he is deathly afraid that he is going to somehow get caught or face some kind of repercussion because of this meeting here.
Go ahead.
He also says, I'm also going to sweeten this deal for all of you. So when you come back, assuming you get the items from me, I will teach you the enchantment to turn your friends invisible. Number 1. Number 2, I will give you these. And he shows you a plaque of these. He has one for each of you. They are ivory. They almost look like the small domino cards, but with nothing on them. They're little ivory cards with a picture of a wand on them. He said, you take these to Hogsmeade, and the actual tablets will show you where to go. you can turn them in for wands. And with a wand, you immediately get a defensive spell that packs quite a punch. He said, but that's not for me to discuss with you. That's for the wand maker. He said, so anyone with a wand can go through this. Now, of course, there's danger using it, especially if you're trained. But it's something that you absolutely need right now. It has many, many uses too. So, matter of fact, the fact that you're going out there without wands is kind of suicide. But
I would
these are
like
yours
to,
if you do this for me.
ring.
To be able to control time, that's extremely powerful.
Oh yes, but it's the clock controls time. Time's it's just not. It's not. It won't allow me to control time necessarily. It's just an ingredient for something that I need.
Well, what would you use it for?
I would like to activate the ring.
Okay.
Heck yes.
He says, to be honest, he said, I'd rather not say exactly what I'd like to use it for, but he said, but that said, he said, I suppose if you really want to know, I'll tell you. Do you really
Yeah.
want to know?
I think we really want to know. If we're
So
going to be
we're
putting our
risking our
lives on
necks
the
for
line
it,
for
so-
this,
He
we'd
said,
like to know what's
see,
for.
I'm kind of hoping that the shavings will allow me to concoct something that will, you see, I'm getting on in my years, and I'm hoping that it can maybe reverse some of the aging properties of that. He's lying, by the way. The ring shows you he's lying.
Interesting.
Look, our lives on the line for this. And it's clear that you're not telling us the full truth. Now, either you do tell us the truth.
Well, so here's the thing. You don't, unless Robin can find a way to kind of tell you that, the only person that knows they're lying is Robin.
Sorry, my apologies.
Now, Robin, it does depend on what you want to do in this situation, obviously, but
Oh,
yeah, now you
As
have
it-
to somehow. Otherwise, you guys actually believe that, yeah.
I'm going to nudge Evelyn and shake my head a little bit.
That's fine. Yeah, so now, Evelyn, you can say what you're going to say.
Okay. We're about to, put our lives on the line. And so either you tell us the full truth, or, you don't, and you don't get the things that you need.
He says, he sighs, and he says, I can't tell you. I can't tell you. You're just going to have to trust me. I cannot tell you. He said, I'm not sure I'm not really sure that you knew how I was lying, and that's impressive, considering that, I even believe some of that, but I really can't tell you. It's a matter of life and death. I can't tell you. Now, now that the ring is activated, I will tell you this. He says it's a matter of life and death. That is also a lie.
Ooh.
But he's not lying in the sense that he does not want to tell you. That's a truth statement. He said, but listen, if you're the wrong people, I understand. But like I said, I can do this for you, and I can make this happen. And I do want to work with you. Those are all true statements.
Will you tell us what it's for if we get it for you?
He said, listen, he said, I will consider telling you what it's for later when I can trust you. That is a mixed statement. There is a good intention from the ring. The ring is so powerful that it's going to tell you that that is a mixed lie. It is possible that he will tell you, but it is more likely that the whole sentence is a lie. That said, there is mixed truth within it, Robin. So this is a complicated thing you're getting. I will warn you, you're not really using the ring because this guy is actually really good at lying. So it is, you can feel the power of the ring starting to really churn here. This is the first time that you've used the ring though where this guy is actually decent at lying. The others were easy. This one's not so easy. But he said, but listen, if you can at least do this for me, I promise you that I will prove my worth to you. I will be valuable here, and that is true. It is a true statement. He believes that most.
Evelyn, not knowing any of this, by the way, she's just going to sigh, kind of a little annoyed and exasperated. She's going to turn to the group and says, "What do we want to do? I mean, this guy could be doing something terrible with these materials he's asking us to gather, but we could also use another ally, and these wands would definitely help us on our journey."
Worst case scenario, we give him in to education.
So Pepper says, I vote for getting all my feathers back. I vote for all those feathers back. Because right now I look like a elf, and I'm super yucky at myself.
Bunch of lucky stars, sir, Mr. Graves, because the bird usually has the final say. And so she's gonna like look a little impatient. Says, "Okay, so you're gonna turn us invisible now?"
He says yes, and let me get this ready for you guys. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to put this into nighttime. Okay. He says yes. He says he's going to wait. He explains that he's going to wait until everyone is left. He ushers you over here. And then, so as you guys get down the hall, here, let me fix this first. As you get down the hall, he ushers a charm that's a little indecipherable. But by the way, he was telling the truth when he said he would teach you these things. Those were true statements as well. And as he does that, he puts you guys into technical difficulties. Hold on 1 second.
Take your time.
Terrible. You guys are seeing behind the scenes. This is the actual engine for Hogwarts Legacy. Ice, you're familiar with this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so as he does this, he whispers something directly to you guys. Now, this word, it's not the same as the game. So the word is long, and in your brain, the first time it goes through, it's incomprehensible, but everyone feels this. You feel lighter. You look around, your hands, everything, they are completely and utterly invisible. And he was a man of his word. He did unlock the door for you. You slowly walk in, another student goes to leave. That's perfect, by the way, as you guys go through it. You can tell because they have badges on their things. They leave and go through. This is what you guys see inside. Now, he didn't give you much to rely on. I'm going to let you guys decide where you're going to go completely. I will say this, you guys are at medium stakes danger right now being in this thing, and it will elevate as you get further and further out. You do not want to be found. That said, this is how invisibility works. No one can see you. If they get really, really close to you, then if you've ever seen the Predator movies, you can see the light bending around you on the invisibility thing, then you can be seen. Also, if you move quickly, people can still hear your footsteps and stuff. You can do whatever you want in here, though, but it is a little bit time sensitive. What would you guys
Why do I feel like upstairs would be where the sketchy shit is?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
While we're walking, I'm gonna deactivate the ring.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Now, as you look around here, it's a little unnerving because the statue still follows you, but says nothing. As if it can still see invisibility, but can't alert people, maybe, if you're invisible. And then as you get to this area here, there is a room with balloons, but they have locks on them, as you can see. Now, you see ghosts off in that direction. Ice, you see one of these other rooms, but you know that anything you do right now will cause sound and alert someone to go through it, so now's not the time, unfortunately. Because just moving these dice wall things will literally cause alarms. So, but you do see that there's more stairs to go through. There is a chest here. There is a little alcove here where you could theoretically hide if you needed to. And then there is more area. Now there's another lock we get here, who is taking the lead on being sneaky?
I will do that.
All right,
If
now
that's
go. Yeah, perfect. Give me a coordinated group move roll. Because now you have to make some real decisions. Now there is an elaborate door, to the right here, and then sure enough, as you look down, you see this.
What do you think, y'all? Do we want to go to the right or the left?
The clock's right there.
Yeah.
Or up,
The
I
other
guess.
door must be the bathroom.
If you want,
Maybe
you
with
can
the
sneak
fresco?
in and look. Would you like to do that, Nice?
I want to wait for Niles to to lead us.
Yeah, go for it.
I can sneak in and take a peek real quick.
This is what you see. So it is adorned with fish. It looks like it could be some kind of but I think that this is what you see. It is a beautiful, as you walk in, essentially bathhouse. Like, you can't even necessarily imagine, but as you look, there is a painting there. This certainly would fit the description. Those are real pearls as you start to look at them. They are perfect and beautiful themselves. And so it's interesting. This water is fragrant in some way. It's like a lilac, cardamom, like almost vanilla smell. It smells like a very like kind of, you notice this immediately as you walk in. It's like a very subtle perfume. But then as you start to look at all these things, those might be for water, but maybe they're also for scents, bubbles, soap. I'm not sure. But this is definitely the most beautiful bathroom you guys have ever seen when it comes to that stuff. If this is something that's appealing to you, and you're not really sure how this works. Maybe it's a group bath. You're not exactly sure. But the place is pretty ornate, kind of amazing. Sure enough, there are, by the way, levers you could push and you could turn and other things too if you really wanted to. But this is that area, and it certainly looks like this could be what the gentleman was asking for a picture of.
Cool. I will definitely looking at everything in shock because Niles was always poor, so this is like extra for him. But we'll definitely run back or go back sneakily, and we'll grab everybody and try and get us all in this room.
The other amazing thing, Niles, before you did that, as you walk through, the painting moves. This is the weirdest. So the frescoes are generally just non-stylized painted things that have souls attached to them, or whatever. This is very different. Something is fully enchanted on this one. But you do go back, and you grab everyone, have them come in. This is the first time you've seen. There's another statue over here too. It has no black. It just looks like you scared a wizard. But then you go back here and show everyone.
Do I still need to do the roll, or did we get?
No, not
Okay.
now, because there's Sorry.
Okay.
You do need to do the roll overall. I'm sorry. You do need to do
Okay.
the roll overall, though. Just not. It will not affect this room yet, but yes.
Okay. Cool. Can I ask the stakes range? I want to see if I want to use one of my.
The roll is high stakes for sure.
Okay. Can I?
The drive.
Nothing
I was
will
gonna
happen in
say-
this room, though. Nothing will happen in this room, but yeah. Unless someone comes in, of course.
Yeah. If it's high stakes to get there, though, I can spend a nerve and do tricks of the trade. Where it says you've learned how to navigate tricky or dangerous situations to keep yourself out of harm's way on a hide or sway roll you may spend one nerve to lower the stakes before rolling.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that.
Okay.
That's a great
gonna-
ability, by the way.
No, I always forget I have it, which is horrible. And did I hear one right?
Candela, it's very powerful. Okay. So the difference between that is, let's say this. So in a high stakes roll, if you're found, you might be immediately killed. Maybe you have a magical hole blown through you. Maybe you'll literally go into a literal, like, infinite jail scenario. Something terrible will happen to you. If you change it to medium stakes, this means you actually have a chance, once you're caught, to not only talk your way out of things, but you could also get into a situation where you're, instead of like getting killed, you are literally reprimanded. Maybe really badly, but that's the difference. It could literally mean the difference between life and death.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't want us killed walking in here. If For Candela rules, I can't remember. Is it okay to spend the nerve and then also another drive for the hide? Is that?
So the way that it generally, actually yes, you can spend the nerve because this is an ability, and then send it for the other thing. Yes, absolutely. Yep.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yep.
And I think I heard Robin say you're offering one, right?
So you're gonna help be the lookout, Robin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, I thought I heard you, but I just want to make sure before I roll. 6 full success gilded, so you get it back, Robin.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So you feel confident, you know what you're doing, especially with invisibility. This is kind of like really easy for you right now. You're used to having to sneak in with shadows. Now you're fully invisible. So you figured this out quickly. You get acclimated to it. This is what you guys see. So this thing it's literally the most elaborate bubble bath you've ever seen before. It's also almost the size of an Olympic swimming pool. And it's kind of like as you go in ice, you can even feel it. This thing is brimming with magic on top of it. You don't know what this is used for, even if it's used by students or not, but it's kind of amazing, whatever it is. There's even a diving board. But it's definitely a bath, meaning that you can tell this is where you would get clean. It's not just a swimming pool.
It freaks me out, guys. And look at this thing moves.
Yeah, so as you go through, so it's funny. Normally the paintings, even though they're paintings, have this strange murky quality to them. This one doesn't. It is so crisp. The line, it's literally just a drawing, but it's a drawing of like the crispest magnitude that you've ever seen when something moves. It's very two-dimensional, even though it's obviously meant to look like it's three-dimensional. And the other unnerving thing is in your minds, you hear hello. All of you hear that at once. But it's not talking to you physically.
You can see us?
Says hello and looks around.
He said, sorry, she says, I can see you. Are you here for a bath?
To be fair, we are here for making your portrait.
She says, my portrait? Really? She giggles and she says, okay, alright, fine.
Well, we heard of a beautiful woman described as you, so we thought it'd be a great opportunity.
She said, fine. Usually people are here for my pearls, not to give me portraits, so that's fine. Alright.
Well, what are the pearls?
She said, they're not for students, unfortunately.
Well, we have a master artiste here, or two actually. We can do portraits, we can do pictures.
She said, okay, that's fine.
Alright guys, all you.
I take my notes and pencils, chalk maybe, and start drawing.
Evelyn's gonna walk to the other side of the pool so she can get enough of it in the frame, and snaps a photo.
Perfect. So you do that and snap a photo of the side.
Yeah.
Niles will be cautiously keeping a distance from the water.
So you notice with your 6 that your spell regenerated itself on its own. For a split second, you don't know why, but for a split second, everyone was visible. You could see yourselves, and then it regenerated itself for you.
Ooh.
How long has it been since we returned invisible?
Only like 5 minutes, so that's a little unnerving. But whatever happened that broke it fixed itself immediately.
Okay. Well, we should get moving. How much longer do you need to make your sketch?
That's a great question. How long does
You're
it
gonna
take to
need
make a
like
sketch?
15 minutes. Yeah, you need a good 15 minutes.
Oh crap.
Yeah, so you need to stay in here a bit longer. As Ice is sketching it though, she says, "Well, aren't you gonna take a bath?"
I took a bath this morning. I think I'm fine.
I don't like deep water.
I'm gonna dip my toes in.
So as you do dip your toes in, if you take them off, so I assume you take your shoes off and you dip your toes in. Would you say that there was any dirt at all on your toes, or anything?
Maybe a little bit,
Well,
but not like.
as you dip your toes in, any dirt that was there immediately comes off, but the water feels amazing. It's actually the perfect temperature, but it doesn't even feel like water. It feels like almost like silk hitting up into your skin, enveloping you. It's still wet, but it has a very other alien-like feeling. And then your mind is like, okay, it's time to take a bath, but you don't have to. You're not enchanted. You're compelled to. But it does. The water feels amazing. And by the way, when you take your feet out, they have the same smell. And then, as that happens, she says, you know, all those files are different enchantments. She said they're kind of like, I don't want to spoil the fun for you. That's why they have gems on them. They're all amazing. Every single one of them is different. Part of the fun on taking the bath is figuring that out. She said, now, I will say this. Normally you're not allowed to take a bath like this unless there's a perfect here, because obviously there are girls and boys. But she said, I won't tell anyone. You guys can take a bath, do whatever you want. It's fine. I can't give you a pearl, but you can still take a bath if you'd like.
Niles is gonna hesitantly kind of get next to Kaida and have like fists up and ready, and is gonna be like, the last time I was in deep water, my best friend got eaten by something, and is just like staring into the depths.
Yeah, and it is just deep enough. You can see the bottom, but not from every angle, and it is just deep enough that it would cause that kind of like rational fear for sure. This is definitely more than 6 feet deep, so if you go in, everyone's going to be submerged for sure. So it's probably 7.5 to 8 feet deep. The water is crystal clear, so you can see the bottom, but there are certain light angles where you know it's dark. So as you can see.
That was not the direction I thought you were going to say.
Can we see each other when we're invisible, or are we also invisible?
When you get close enough to each other, you can see the light bending around you, but you cannot see everyone as they start to go up. It's just like everyone else. Like, you see what everyone else sees, and that's good for you, because if you ever become visible immediately, you'll know almost immediately that happened. But you can only see yourselves when you're huddled into each other.
Evelyn's gonna let the curiosity get better of her. She's gonna walk over to the corner of the room, take off all of her clothes, so she doesn't get them wet, and she's gonna dip into the water. But only so far that she's like sitting on the steps, so she doesn't go all the way in. But she can like lean back and get her hair wet if she wanted to.
Yeah, so as you go through it, the water is absolutely amazing, and that scent envelops you, and it's very, very calming. Any dirt that you had on you is immediately cleaned. It's similar to that enchanted item you had, but this water, for whatever reason, feels so much nicer. And by the way, it is the perfect room temperature, and it will get warmer if you are colder and vice versa. It does that in a like a 3-centimeter bubble around you, so it doesn't affect everyone else. Unless someone's really close to you, then they'll feel the temperature changes that happened to be for you in particular. Now, each one of these things does do something completely different. The only thing I will say is just remember, if you do submerge in water or start to go through it, if you're invisible and you stop moving, no one will see you. But obviously, if the water is being displaced, people would see you. And of course, you noise. But yeah.
Right.
But she sees that you do this, and the mermaid like giggles and laughs and claps as you get in.
Evelyn's gonna ask her, does this water have like any magical qualities?
She said it does have the uncanny ability to get you amazingly clean and refresh you. If you are tired, you'll notice that you have kind of what I've heard people call like a second wind. It kind of cures any kind of exhaustion, and it does make you incredibly clean. Now the enchantments are something different. They're all different, and as a matter of fact, people spend literally months here. All the perfects that are allowed in this room will literally spend months trying out each one of these things. So it's not really my place to go through it. She said, but I'm sure you're perfect, and I'm sure that you're brand new, which congratulations. I don't know how many of that works. She said, but by all means, you have time. Don't go crazy. You can just use one of them today and come back tomorrow and use the rest.
Do any of them cure, what would they call that in universe, bleed marks?
Yeah, so you can tell her, like, you've had magical trauma and stuff. She says she doesn't think so. She doesn't know. Out of character, I will tell you, though, every single one of these, while they do have, you have to use every single one. Some of them will have advantages, but for the most part, they are superficial things that are really awesome if you were there taking an actual bath. Some of them do have other properties, and it is a guess and check thing, and there are a lot of them. Mm-hmm. As you can see, every single spigot is different. So if you look at this one spigot here that has literally 5 things, the gems are all different because they all have different enchantments.
Niles is gonna swim a lap just to make sure it's safe.
So Niles, you do swim and cautiously throughout all of this, you know, and I assume with your 6 roll, you're still also trying to displace the least amount of water just in case you want to walk in. And it is safe. And you know, it's also interesting, even with all of your trauma, this is one thing that the pool does do. It does calm that trauma. So even though you were scared and you do have a lot of trauma, it starts to literally go away in the pool, in this pool itself. Now the trauma will come back as you leave, but for now within the pool, you actually feel pretty safe.
It's a safe pool.
We will end it with super nice swimming moves, and then we'll come out and be like, looks good.
Evelyn's favorite color is green. She's gonna find the first green faucet and turn it on.
Okay, awesome. So we'll start to look over in this area here, and sure enough, there is a green crystal right over here. Now, the head of this green crystal is a fish, a kind of a fish that you've never really seen before, but a fish nonetheless. And as you slowly turn that, this ends up happening on this side. So as you slowly turn it, get it set up here. Maybe I'm wrong. Hold on. Sorry. I thought I had animations for this. Let's see. Maybe not. Okay, well, I'll fix that later. So as you do start to like slowly turn these, what ends up happening is you see like bubbling liquid coming out of this, and then it does change very briefly to the color green, but as it hits the water, all of the water splashes into this crazy prismatic like almost rainbow color, and then the water turns to a subtle deep green. Now it doesn't stain your skin or anything like that. First you smell a pine forest, but then as the water starts to envelop you, everyone starts to feel, even though you're in water, like you're in a dry spring-like area. It's the weirdest feeling because you don't feel wet anymore. And you also have this woodsy pine smell that goes through like everything around you. The other interesting thing is that so anyone can choose this too. It doesn't matter if you're a girl or a boy. Now you see that there's this like film that goes over your hands, and you inherently know with this enchantment that if you wish for your nails to be green, this vibrant, like almost gem green color, they will turn green.
I want my nails to be green.
Stick your hands in, girl.
As it happens, so as you decide this, it's not a normal nail green. As it starts to go through this, your nails look like green emeralds. It literally, they look like gems, the nails. It's pretty impressive. Like they're translucent. It looks like real gems. It's pretty like dramatic as you start to look at it.
Well, green is our house color. She's happy.
And it's my birthstone.
Oh. Awesome. Can I ask the mermaid if I can bottle some of the just the water in general for like its calming effects and stuff? Would that still like hold the effects if I was able to bottle some?
She says, "Oh no! You cannot steal any water, I'm sorry. It has to stay here. Yeah.
Okay.
Some of the things do. So that's what some of them look like. They all have like the steam that comes out as the water hits, by the way. And that's how it goes through. You also notice, one of the things you notice as that surge of magic hits the pool, by the way, and everyone that was in the pool felt this, one of the things that was strange is that the pool is instantly cold in the sense that it is the same temperature of like an actual pool for like a millisecond, and then it heats up again as the enchantment hits.
At this point, Niles is just going to be like floating in the water and is going to be like, by the way, what's your name? To the mermaid.
She says, my name is Esmeralda. She said, what's your name? And she said, what's your names and when did you become perfects? I didn't even know that they were looking for your perfects.
Yeah, new recruits. We're new recruits. I'm Niles.
She said, well, it's nice to meet you, Niles. She said, and trust me, I trust you. I know that you are perfects because no one can come through that door unless they've been enchanted as a perfect, so.
Yes. Yeah, we're kind of like in training. They're starting a new program. So yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah, so they're showing us how cool it is.
Said,
how long have you been here? Sorry.
She said, I've been here for, I don't know, 600-700 years at least. She said, it's just weird. Normally, I wouldn't trust any of you because why are you invisible? And she giggles. It's like you're sneaking around, but like, you can't be intruders.
Oh, we're just practicing new stuff. So yeah, this was just to test it out. Who can see us around the castle? Who can't? You passed.
Oh, interesting. She said, I thought it was maybe because you didn't want each other to see you naked or something because we don't have a perfect in here that's chaperoning. But that makes sense too.
Oh yeah, no. We're like family. That wouldn't bother us.
She said, oh, okay. Yep.
Real quick, if Ice uses all her 10 tiny tentacles to manipulate the pencils, will that make the catch faster?
Sorry, it cut out. So if you want to use all your tiny tentacles to manipulate which part?
Use like pencils and painting stuff
No,
at the same time.
Yeah, we can say that if you're doing that, we can say you're done by now. Yeah, I will say that if you do that, it takes half the time. That's a great thing, Ice. So
okay, cool.
if you go ahead and go through that, definitely it would take half the time because you would be shading and doing things like multiple things at the same time. So after 7 minutes or so, it would be done, and I'd say that amount of time is definitely passed. Okay. So for everyone that did take a bath here, when you get out, you are still wet. You do have to like pat yourself off and then put on your clothing.
Evelyn's getting dressed. She tried to drip dry as much as she could on the steps, and then she's getting her clothes on now.
Okay.
Can I show the mermaid the sketch, or is it invisible as well?
Yeah, what do you want to do? So you go up to her. Her name, do you call her by her name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Esmeralda, right?
Esmeralda. Yep. She says, she said, yes, that's a lovely likeness of me, I suppose. You know, I haven't seen myself in a long time.
They don't put like mirrors in this room?
She said, not really. I mean, sometimes I can see myself in the water's reflection, but that's only when the light hits it. Certain way. She said, but no, it's okay. She said, I enjoy seeing everyone happy taking baths, so I'm not bored. She said, I can look sometimes on the other side, but as you can see, the mirror is dulled on purpose. And as you look through, you can tell now what she's talking about. So she can see a very blurry version of herself, but it's not. The mirror has been treated so that it doesn't actually shine back of her reflection.
Why don't they want you seeing yourself?
She said, I don't know. She said, maybe it's also because they don't want people looking at other people in the bath. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I guess that makes sense. It was a pleasure to meet you. Thanks for teaching us about this new pool that we can use.
She said, of course, no worries. She said, I've never seen anyone in here without chaperones. This was fun.
Our secret.
She said, well, I should say at least a student I've never seen. The adults, on the other hand, well, and then she smiles and says, that's right, though. You're not even allowed to have a pearl, so it's fine.
What are the professors doing after dark?
Right? I want to steal one. I should have said my name was
the pearl she's talking about is not, you don't presume it's these giant pearls, you think it's what she's holding in her hand. But it's a painting. She'd have to give it to you.
Yeah.
Alright, so should we head out and do our other tasks for the day?
Okay. So, as you do carefully move out, you do see this going through it. Now, one of the things that you notice is that time might certainly be different here, because as you walk through, it looks like it's daytime now. It clearly was night, and when you started this, you kind of have a panicky moment here, but as you go through, this is what you see down the hallway. Sure enough, this is the interior of what looks like the ocean. And there's a stairway going up.
So let's look for a gear with like some grayish metal shavings on it and try to grab it.
So as you go through and look, sure enough, on the edges of this there are metallic shavings. They're probably time sylph on the first gear here. That now, getting to it is much easier said than done. Someone is going to have to jump from here to that moving mechanical piece, shimmy around from the other side. This is dangerous work. And then take their hand and literally scoop up time sylph. All while not getting crushed by the gears while they're moving. So this is a little harder than you would have imagined, probably. But this is seemingly the only way to get to the gears from the top. The other place on the other side, that literally is impossible from where you guys are. There's no way over if you look.
Can my spider crawl on things and kind of stay attached to them?
Yes. So as a matter of fact, absolutely. As a matter of fact, your spider's good at this. The only thing I will say with your spider is that it will run a small chance with the finesse that it needs to go through this once it jumps of getting on and then getting crushed. So how that will work is this. Your spider can absolutely take the risk and do this. On a critical failure, so it's just a move roll. And it gets 2 in move, by the way. On a critical failure, it gets crushed in the gears of the bags.
Okay. Does he have any drives, or
No,
can I send him
you
a drive?
have to use drives for him. Yeah.
Okay.
It would be your drives that you're using. But he does get 2 in move, so.
Is this like a low stakes roll, high stakes roll?
This is very high stakes. This is super high stakes. This will be high stakes though for even like Niles, if Niles does it. So.
Okay.
This is dangerous.
I don't have the best
DC
Everyone's
is
gonna
lower for
turn
your
to-
spider. I will say this: DC is actually lower for your spider. So your spider can only die in a critical success. Niles, if you fail, it's going to be much harder on you.
Yeah, I don't have good move.
Yeah, or anyone that tries this.
Okay. Evelyn's gonna turn to Niles and asks if it's okay if Z does it, just to keep them safe.
Okay, thank you.
Just let me make sure. Alright, so I'm gonna spend one of my cunning drives on a high, because I can on a high stakes roll,
Sure.
to give Z an extra move. So you said he has 2?
Yeah, so you get 3. It's not gilded, but he does have 2, so you get 3. And as you go through and do this, the only way that your spider can die during this, even if it falls, it won't necessarily die. Failures are going to be something. But the only way that it outright dies and gets crushed in the gears by making a terrible mistake as it jumps to the next one is if you roll a critical failure.
Okay. Is he able to easily pick up the time?
No, but what he's going to do, once the spider gets there, he's actually going to cover himself in it and scoop it up. So this is not perfect. You might have to, that's what you're going to find out. You're going to see how much you get, and you're going to make a determination. You might have to do this a couple times.
Evelyn's gonna take off her socks and put them on the spider's feet so you can grab up the dust and the felt stuff a little bit easier.
Your socks are way bigger than even one of his feet. He's not like he's a pretty small spider. He's around the size of like a large baseball or 2 baseballs big. But that said, I mean, tell me how you'd want to do this realistically.
Got you. Yeah, so I'm thinking of like a jumping spider, how they never really like walk with their first 2 feet, and like also his like little mandible, like little like things around his mouth. So if you can pick up one of the socks, or I was thinking wear it, but if you can pick up one of the socks and kind of like, you know, rub the sock on the time sylph, maybe it would collect it better, so he doesn't have to make as many of these risks.
He is smart enough to understand that concept. So, yes. However, if he's taking 2 of his like things away from climbing and jumping and everything, your DC stakes get lower, and he could die on a 1. But otherwise, he got to die at double 2s. But if he's holding something, the DC is higher.
Can we tie a sock in like around these
you can.
body?
Would that inhibit him in the same way?
No. Now that said, it's going to be very hard for Z if you tie a stock around Z to like figure out how to dump this stuff in there because he's got spindly little legs. He doesn't have fingers and thumbs.
Okay. Okie dokie. So Evelyn's gonna give him her socks and have him hold on to them with his mouth, and he's gonna jump. We have a full success!
Awesome.
Critical success!
Yes, critical.
Success is way better.
Double!
Nice.
Awesome. Okay, so what ends up happening? So the spider surprisingly catches onto this really quickly and gets very lucky as he jumps and scoops up just by, not by his own like talent, but by just where he jumped onto the second gear, scoops up one of the larger deposits of this time sylph and just gets enough to fill the sock completely. And then effortlessly jumps back, and you now have this in your possession.
And she's gonna give him like a little like pat on the head and a scritchy scratch where he doesn't have his plating, so you can enjoy the scratches. And congratulate him on a job well done. So she's gonna keep hold of her socks under her cloak and just put her shoes back on, without her socks on, of course. I think we have everything, you guys. Is there anything else that we want to see or do or look at before we head out of here? I saw our invisibility kind of filter in and out, so I don't want to stay here too long.
But Pepper said, I want my feathers. I want my feathers and all those unicorn tears. I want to taste what those taste like.
Oh, that's in here. Okay, yeah, let's go find that.
Okay. Alright, so you guys start to walk back.
Actually, did we saw any unicorn statues
So
on our way up here?
Not yet. There is another room that heads off into the upper part of your up here. This is what it looks like. This does look like a hospital proper. And sure enough, you see this.
Okay. So it's the water under the statue that's the unicorn tears? Or?
Mm-hmm. The containment vial thingy.
So Pepper says, should I drink it? Do I drink this?
Pepper, why don't you stick a wing in there first and see if maybe just touching it does it?
I can try with my arm,
Pepper
because...
does do that. And she says it's super itchy. And as she says that, slowly but surely, and it's actually a little painful for slowly but surely the feathers start to reform.
Casper's gonna take a couple vials from his medical equipment and fill them up.
During our party, we need a full galone of this thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking. From ice alone, I'm gonna need all of this.
Can I submerge my arm inside? The one with a scar?
yeah, so how many body points do you have right now, Ice City?
I don't have anyone.
Evelyn has
Yeah.
one.
I just have 2 bleed marks. Everything is 0.
So, as you start to do this, you notice that the scar persists for now, but you do notice that some of the damage is slowly going away. You don't know how long it would take, but it's working to some degree, but you still retain a body mark. I mean, a body scar for now. Pepper's feathers have not come back either. Yeah, not all of them.
Theoretically, how much of this stuff could I take?
Yeah, so tell me how you're taking it.
So at medical supplies, I figured that includes some vials, if not some bottles that already have like isopropyl alcohol or some shit. I would imagine Casper would probably dump that out to get this stuff.
So,
And he would put like the vial or the bottle right under the spout that is coming out from those mouths, so that he doesn't have to.
And Robin with the high knowledge score will stop you once you dump anything out, because of the fact that any small bit of contaminant can interact with this in ways that are the unknown. You can take the risk if you want to force that risk, but you know that now. That said, without doing anything with the other containers you have, I'm going to say that you have enough to fill 3 decently large vials of this. You're going to have you're going to have basically like 16 ounces at the end of the day with all of these vials going. And if you want to push it, you can, but there is no other water to clean these supplies. You're going to have remnants of other liquids in them.
Got it. Yeah, I'll just do the vials. I'll stick to it.
Okay?
Robin will give her extra vial from her lab equipment to Casper.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so you can take, that's another 8 ounces. I'm sorry, that's actually another 4 ounces. Sorry about that.
We're gonna be okay, guys. I'm keeping us alive.
So Pepper starts to get a little anxious, and Pepper like submerges her whole body in it, and that does seem to make it better. And Pepper kind of bobs in the water or whatever. You guys see the Pepper's inside of this thing. She's making a little bit of noise, but...
Pepper, shh, be quiet. We have to stay hidden.
Oh, yeah, I will definitely do that, but it's super itchy, and all my feathers are coming back. This is the best day of my life.
Is there anyone on the hospital area? Like
You have to go back and look.
a nurse,
You
someone
didn't
in
look
bed?
at it, but yeah, as you come through and look, there is.
Okay.
You immediately see a woman. You remember you're visible. You immediately see a woman tending things, and it's very possible there are patients. You're not sure because you can't see all the way down. But yeah, this does look like a legit hospital wing. Someone there. There's also a cauldron, by the way, that's hanging from this. You don't know what this is for, with the water underneath it. But yeah, this is definitely something.
Is this cauldron attached to the chain, or just
It is. The cauldron
being
is
held by a
attached.
hook?
Nope,
Oh.
it's attached. It's attached to the actual cauldron at the bottom of it. Good question. Yeah.
Ew, I don't like the way they did that. Now that I'm looking at it, why?
Likely two props stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
Do we want to try and go back before invisibility goes away, or?
Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
Right. So you tell Pepper to get out, and she still has a bunch of, or they have a bunch of water surrounding them. Their feathers are definitely growing back. Ice. Nothing has happened yet. you think to yourself, you're gonna get up for now. If you had significant time to stay in here, though, yes, it would definitely heal your scar. You just need the time.
Can I make a educated guess on how much time will take?
Give me a sense roll, and yes, it depends on the sense roll, absolutely.
A full success.
All right. Given how much of it has healed some of that, some of the electrical like pattern in your arm, it would take probably 3 to 4 hours of dipping your arm in this. You don't have enough liquid, so I'll tell you this with a full success: you don't have enough liquid to do that at home. That said, if you can find a way to get this liquid, or even maybe to admit yourself into this place, then you have a shot at getting rid of that scar.
Mm-hmm.
So for now, you guys do go downstairs. This is what you see. Same room that you came through before. And you are able to go down further. That wasn't so bad as you guys start to think to yourself. Like, there wasn't many guards or anything. Like, that was pretty easy. And then you get down to here and you see that you have kind of an easy way out. So you are able to get out, and sure enough, he's waiting for you. And he says, so, how did things go? You were in there for a long time. I was starting to get worried. What happened?
Well, we have to take time to sketch a whole fresco, and
Why did it take a day? I was really worried.
That was a whole
again, a
day.
day.
He said, yes, you've been literally gone for more than 24 hours. I almost went in there myself, but I knew that you hadn't been caught because, of course, there'd be people running out. But it was frightening for me, to say the least. What happened?
We found the bathing room, and we're only in there for maybe 15-20 minutes tops, but when we came out, it was daylight. I think time shifts differently in the hospital wing.
He said, this is strange. I've been in there before. I've never noticed that. Well, okay. So do you have the ingredients? Tell me you have the times.
We have everything you asked for. Now will you be giving us more information of what its uses?
He said, amazing. And he goes to take out the first he gives those bone white things. He says, so, I'm a man of my word. First and foremost, take these, all of you. They will allow you to pick up a wand. No questions asked.
I'm gonna activate the ring again.
Okay.
Casper smiles for the wands.
Evelyn's also going to be making a read roll on this. She wants to interpret to see.
Yep.
Okay.
So, right. So he said, also, he says, I am a man of my word as well. He said, ice, right? He stops talking as the surgeon comes in, and then he says, alright, we're good. He says, ice. He said, so, you're going to be learning this enchantment, yes? There's a danger to this inherently. So far, everything you said is truthful, by the way, Robin. He said there's danger to learning this enchantment. Plus, you don't have a wand. That's all right. These kind of enchantments are inherent. You don't necessarily need a wand of focus to do these. So, he whispers an incoherent stream of words into your ear, eyes. Give me a sense roll for this. See how long it takes you to truly comprehend this.
Thank you.
How many dice do you have?
Oh crap, failure.
That's okay.
I have 3, and I roll a... I spend a drive as well.
Okay. All right. He said it's totally natural for the first time to take a while. He said he said, I'm going to give you the enchantment. After an hour, it's going to click in your mind on what to do. He said, also, go through these hand movements with me. Give me another sense roll.
Fun. For success.
Okay, perfect. So you get the hand gestures correctly. Now it's just going to come down to the words that have to be streamed. They are literally a language you don't understand, and it's a very long word. This word takes 2 minutes to continuously say, and it's completely and utterly alien or foreign. While you're going through, while this is trying to click in your mind, you start to unravel this certain idea, this language behind what magic is, what even language is to you starts to unravel a bit into these phonetic things. So your mind is really working right now. You're going to be preoccupied with this for the next hour. You are going to be able to learn the spell when it happens. How the spell works is this. This is a pure invisibility spell. It depends on what you roll in sense on how long it lasts. On a 1, I decide randomly when the invisibility actually works, and then I decide randomly when it goes off. And on the meta of this, this is a full failure, so you believe you cast this successfully, so it's random in that sense. So you have to go on. Once you cast this, there is no metaing oh, we can't do this now, guys. You have to go and do what you were doing, and I decide when it goes off. On a 2 and 3, the spell does not work. On a 2 and 3, if you decide to do this again and you get an additional failure, you take a bleed mark. So every time you fail, you take a bleed mark after that. And it's only a single-use spell for each person. So every time you do this conjuration, if you do it for the whole group, you have to do it for everybody. So this is not a free thing. There's definitely an extreme cost to this. That said, on a 6, you generally get around an hour's worth of this thing working. On a 5 and a 4, you generally get around 45 minutes on a 5 and 30 minutes on a 4. After that, there are failures, and on a 1, you believe you fully succeeded, and I decide when it goes off. So 1s are super, super dangerous because you won't know that you succeeded or failed. And that could just be on, for instance, anyone. It could be on Niles or whatever. And just one of you is going to lose your invisibility. So remember, this is not a free, I want to use this all the time. It's probably only when I absolutely have to use this, I'm going to use it.
And just make sure, if I want to cast visibility on everyone, I need to roll 5 times.
Yes, exactly. 5 times.
6 times, yeah.
Right. Yeah, that is correct. And then once I
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So he said, listen, this is just the beginning. I really do want to help all of you. He said, I am willing to. He said, okay. He said, listen, I'm willing to really help you here. Do you know what? Have you ever heard of a lunar oculum?
I don't believe we have. What is that?
Can't even spell the word.
He said, it's a secret room within the castle. You can only open it by moonlight. He said, they have amazingly powerful things within them, meaning that they have stations set up so that you can do potion making. They have stations set up so that you can further your magical studies. He said they are extremely hard to get your hands on because, first and foremost, the rooms are always hidden, and they're also very, very, very limited. Meaning that once a student acquires it, he has it or they have it, or she has it for their entire stay here. If you were to have one as with the group, you would have that as well. I have access to one, and I can make sure that you have access to it for your time here. But I can't give it away for free, unfortunately. I'll think of some things that we can possibly do together, and then I will further your course studies. I will be your de facto teacher. Especially since it seems like your Slytherin teachers are kind of neglecting you at this point. He said deal? Now everything he said to you is true, right?
Just make sure we should keep the ones hidden from our house professors, right?
Well, yes, especially if you have professors that are outside of the normal schooling metrics. I imagine, he said, listen, I'm going to take a wild guess here, but are you being taught by Lady Ventrix? Because she is not a professor. And he smiles. She's something special. She's like me. She's above the professors.
I don't like this guy.
Oh yeah, we know that much.
She said, well, she's probably dangerous. Watch out. I will do my best to protect you. So far, none of this has been a lie, Robin. I'm going to give you real schooling then. You're much too valuable a resource to just waste by getting killed because you didn't have the right or proper protections. All of that's still true. He said, so, I will reach out to you again. Remember, secrecy is of the utmost importance here. Understood?
Understood. But Lunas, before you leave, you said that you're the Grandmaster Groundskeepers?
Yes, that's right.
Is there anything that you know about the forest that you could share with us? Seems that our
Forbidden Forest. I wouldn't go in there without a wand. I also wouldn't go in there without many enchantments. Why would you go in there? It's certainly a death trap. Oh, I should mention this too. If you see my twin, say nothing.
How do we know which one's which?
Yeah.
This is probably we do look exactly alike. He's actually been known to wear my exact clothing as well. Oh,
Do you have a secret passphrase that we could use?
Yes. Plurals. I do not say this word to you. Do not speak a word. Pretend like you just were talking to me about the grounds here or whatever, like Floragust. Ask me specifically about. We'll say this. Say, so at this time of year, have you ever seen any rare flowers around the grounds? And I will say a Floragust. And if I do not say that, say nothing.
At this time of year, have you ever seen? At this time of year, have you ever seen what?
A Floragust.
But what do you want us to say? Sorry, I was writing it down.
He said, ask me if I've seen any rare flowers growing around the grounds this time of year. And I will say, oh yes, I've seen a Floragust.
Okay.
He said, I feel like we're in like a novel, like a spy novel or something. He said, this is exciting. He said, well, you've done very well. He said, I will not be telling you why I need the component, but maybe one day when I can trust you. That is a mixed truth. If there's lies to that too, Robin. He probably has never intentions of telling you, but.
To answer your previous question about why we want to go to the Forbidden Forest, it seems that we have answers that are only found there. Is there anything that you can give us, advice or otherwise, that would help us be successful?
Well,
and
if you don't go in without a wand, you will literally have no defense against the man-eating spiders in there. Once you receive a wand, you'll see there's a specific enchantment that you can do with the wand outright. It's on the same level as, say, throwing a brick at someone's face with the hardest you possibly can. If it hits, that's around the level of power you're looking at with most wands these days. Without it, you're surely dead. Now that said, I mean, you would need all kinds of enchantments to be able to survive an attack on these very large, horse-sized spiders. But it's not just that. The centaurs, there's other things within the forest. How hell-bent are we on getting into this forest?
Pretty confident that's where we need to go next.
Damn it. He said, well... He said, fine. He says, listen. Why don't you reach out to me tomorrow? You can find me here or within the grounds. As a matter of fact, you can actually get your owl to send for me. And Pepper says, I don't know if I can find someone wandering around the castle. I don't know if that works. He says, Pepper, no, I have a stand outside of Hogwarts. You know where it is. And he says, oh, by the Quidditch. Yeah, okay. I can go to the Quidditch fields and leave a note. Yep, I can do that. He says, good. He says, yeah, send your elf, and I will get you into one of the defensive classes to at least have you learn a charm that can help with this kind of thing. I'm gonna have to do quite a bit to get you into classes proper. It's amazing to me that they haven't done this for you. But I'll see what I can do. I will start this process for you.
Pepper, are you okay with us waiting an extra day?
He says, I'm sorry?
Evelyn's asking Pepper. Pepper, are you okay with us waiting an extra day?
Yeah, it's okay. I haven't really talked to my mom in a long time, and who knows, maybe she bites my face anyway, and I don't want my face to be bitten off, so it's alright.
Okay.
He says,
alright,
good.
Well...
He says, so come get me tomorrow. We'll start classes proper for you. We'll get some enchantments up, but before you do anything, go get your wands. It's embarrassing you don't have them. He says, good luck. Let's start here. And all of you, by the way, even if you didn't intend on learning enchantments, are going to have to, unfortunately, or fortunately for you. So good luck with that. Enchantments are dangerous. There's meaningful risk most times with these things, but I'm sure you'll be fine. Good luck, and let's start this beautiful arrangement.
All right. Nice to meet you, Mr. Graves.
He said, thank you. Nice to meet you too. Oh, before we go, one more thing. He said, have you seen the crates? No? Do you even know what they are? So there are these statues all around Hogwarts. By day, they're solid. They're these little creatures that are holding a moon. By night, they become crystalline. They are important to me, specifically. Also, at night, when they're crystalline, they move millimeters apart, the hands, just enough that you can take those moons out. The moon is called Moonstone. I would like it. I'll tell you what it's for later. That he's telling the truth on. He said, see if you can, as you are going to the castle, see if you can find these. If you find enough Moonstone for me, well, I might get you a broom. And a good one. A really nice one. And I'll get you some
how many is enough for a broom?
He said, let's start with 3. If you can find 3, I'll be happy. He said, and I'm not just talking an ordinary broom. I'm talking a broom that can fit all of you on it. I'm talking a broom that is exceptional.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Well, until tomorrow. Thank you.
He said, good. See you tomorrow. And as he says that, you guys are able to walk through, and now you have everything that you're going through. So, Robin, I assume you deactivate the ring?
Right.
Alright. So you guys start to see, slowly but surely, Pepper's feathers are growing back. There's almost enough now that Pepper can fly again, almost. I'll let you fast travel back to your rooms as well.
We saw one of those statues yesterday. Was it inside of the library or outside of the library? By yesterday, I mean last week. I think we're still on the same day, technically.
I don't remember, honestly. It's the one quest on Hogwarts Legacy I didn't follow up to now.
Yeah, I'm actually bad at this. Wow, I can't believe this. I'm like lost on where this other house room is. Let's see. I think this is right though. We'll see. As we're walking back though, you guys can talk amongst yourselves and we can start to decide what you want to do.
Wand.
Yeah, we'll go through this. I'll let you guys talk real quickly. As a matter of fact, I have to take like a quick break anyway. I'll take a quick bio break. You guys can do that too. And I'll be right back and then we'll decide our next course of action. I will be right back.
I'm going to take a bio break too. I'll be right back. I'm back.
Okay.
Buy this game just to wander around so that we can actually get our shit together.
Or are you saying wander to get a wand?
Oh, we need to be in third person more often. Look at that hat.
I mean,
Yeah, get me one of those.
love it.
Didn't realize how badly we were styling on all these clowns.
We have the Riz.
I understand why all those people are rude to us in the beginning now. They were just jealous.
Exactly.
Shit. They kept walking away from us. I thought we looked crazy.
I don't even literally have gear stats on this thing. I think I'm like invincible no matter what. So yeah, let's see.
So we're invisible, right? So let's just go to the forest.
Yeah.
Yeah, the model won't die, but unfortunately all your characters will. Potentially.
No, headcanon,
We'll
not happening. Sorry.
Yep. I finally figured out I think it'll work next time. All of the cutscenes, all of the like special effects, all of that stuff that normally would not work in a setup like this, I now have working. So some of that will be pretty cool as we get into this.
Awesome. It still looks pretty dark on the stream to me. I don't know if that's.
It is definitely dark, even with all the lights up. It's what are we looking at? Yeah, it is pretty dark. I'm gonna do something to fix this. I think it's the overlays. I think it's the same reason why I'm having problems with the with like some of the audio stuff and everything. So we're gonna go through and fix that. As a matter of fact, while we're down, let me try something. There's no game capture. Let's try it again. Actually, we'll kill this whole thing. Let's kill that. Let's see what happens. Okay. So it's going to show you guys the console real quick, but I'm going to see if I can do this the other one. Okay. Yeah, I think I killed it. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to reload it real quick. But yeah, I noticed the same thing. It is pretty dark. I'm not exactly sure why yet. Let's see. I actually have the gamma up all the way that it will go on the engine, so we'll see what happens. It wasn't always like that, right? Like it seemed normal when we first started, correct? Or was it always kind of dark? Let's see. Okay, sorry guys. I restarted everything, so. All right. We will see. I'm restarting this as a brand new source, so we'll see if it helps with the darker side of it. Was it always dark, by the way? Did you guys notice that when you started, or was there a time where it wasn't so dark?
Time where, like, if you were standing in the same spot for a long enough time, it would brighten up. But this whole dark thing only started, like, last a session.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Cool deal. Let's see. All right. This is a brand new source, so we'll see what happens. I have to resize this. Yeah. It'll be square for now until I get the template going. That actually looks a little better though. Let's see what happens. think it might have something to do with the overlays, so we're going to find out right now. This is weirdly taking a long time now. Okay, all right.
I just saw an ad for a TTRPG for Adventure Time.
Oh, wow.
That's interesting.
I'm still waiting for that game that they played, like the board game with the 3D creatures. I want that. I want that in real life right now.
Yep. How does that look like it's a little better?
Yeah, so far.
Yeah.
The loading screen looked great.
It does look better, actually. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's my stylish shot. Alright. I might actually be able to put this down now. This is like overwashed. Hold on, let me see. I can do it right from the settings. Let's do it this way. Yep. Let's see if that's so reasonable. It is meant to be like smoky right now, and we're gonna time jump. So let me look at this real quick. Let's see if this is right. Yeah, that is how it's supposed to look. All right, cool. Yeah, that's really weird. I'll fix that for next time. Perfect. All right, so did we decide? Are we going for wands, or am I putting you back in the Slytherin house room?
We're going for one.
One.
Alright. So, with those little domino trinkets that you have in your hand, they're all carved on a they're very similar looking wand, and they start to shake and vibrate as you get close, and they start to lead you into the shop here. Ollivanders, makers of fine wands. So, you do step inside, and as the light starts to like accommodate your eyes as you start to look in, there's an older gentleman, and it looks like very fine clothing, taking inventory, and it does look like there are hundreds of boxes, wand-sized boxes, within this area. And he says, "Oh, hello, can I help you? Very busy."
We're here for one.
He says, "You're certainly not. It's not the time." He says, "Show me your trinket." He said, "How could you possibly be here for wands?" And as he says that, and he says, "Oh my, why are you getting wands so late? No one gets wands this time of year."
We slipped through the cracks a little bit.
He said, "No, that's dreadful. I'm not sure how you survived without a wand." He says, "Do you understand how this works? What have your teachers told you so far?"
Nothing but show the one to you.
He said, well, you see there are literally hundreds, if not thousands of wands within this shop. Each wand has a different heartstring or string inside of it. Some are from magical beasts, some are from magical components, others are, well, let's just see if we have to go through the others. He says, first and foremost, he says, who is the magical ticket holder?
That's me, sir.
He said, oh, I see. He He says, well, you will then be first and dictate what others get as well to some degree. He says, well, hold out your hands. You hold out your hands, Ice?
Yeah, like hold my hands closed,
Right.
open.
So he says an enchantment that sounds something like and as he says that, his hand lights up with purple, crazy glowing energy that sparks like a sparkler, and he slaps hard on your left hand. And as he slaps on your left hand, I need you to give me a sense roll. This dictates our wands here. Give me a sense roll for you guys.
Do I have any idea of stakes in this?
No, and you don't get. Not only do you not know the stakes because it's a reaction, but you don't even get to use drives. It's just.
Okay, fair.
Yep.
So we don't have the Discord stream for sound, if that is
sorry.
a...
Yes.
No,
there's
you're
definitely
good.
something. There's definitely something that's supposed to be there. Hold on. Let's get that in.
Thank you.
Scribblings. Yeah, this is so much better. I don't know what happened before. What broke the way. Okay. He says.
I got
yes.
a 4.
Okay, 4, perfect. He says, you do have a strong affinity for magic. He said, alright, let's see everyone else. Hold out your hands. If you don't hold,
Yeah,
hold
hold
your hands,
it.
you have to let me know. Yeah. He says, alright. He says, well, and he says, this is what I want you to do. First and foremost, I want you to look around the shop, and I want you to pick a number that you see and a color that you see. We'll go through that first. So
Evelyn's
as you start to
gonna-
look, as you start to look at the shop and go through everything, this is kind of what you guys are seeing first and foremost. There are a lot of random numbers and a lot of colors on these things. So I'm gonna go through and slowly go through them. So you have blue, red, green, orange, purple, and then you have numbers like 180. There's a ton of 180s, as a matter of fact, on this side. Then you have 102, and then you have these random numbers going through that are very different, like 355. And I will tell you this, you guys do get to pick a number between 1 and 500, by the way. There are 500 different variations of these. But Ice gets to go first, and Ice dictates some of our options once we get there. So Ice, you are the first one to make a choice. You have these deep mahogany boxes. You have blue. You have a grayer version or ash box. You have a normal, like, wooden box. You have green, you have purple, you have black. And then you have this, that's just the same blue from before in the red to choose from. And then a number between 1 and 500.
Okay, I'll take purple one.
Yep.
And can I just add out a random number? Is that it?
Yeah, a random number between 1 and 500, correct.
Okay, I'll take 321.
321. Okay, so he says, that's definitely an interesting choice. And as he pulls up these wands, I'm going to show you real quick. Alright. They're not all... Yeah, interesting. Wow, shows an interesting one for sure. Now, you don't have to take this wand. Here's how these work. You unlock a section of these as going through it, so I have an entire section for you. And you did get an upper tier section. Some of them will look like Harry Potter ones. This one certainly won't, and not all of them will. So this is the wand that he pulls out. He says, here's the thing, and you'll see it on the stream. So he says, I want you to think about this. think if this is right for you. But then also try to use it. And so what he shows you is a very, very thin metallic wand. It looks like a fairy. It's very, very sharp on its tip, to the point that it would absolutely like break skin. It's basically a needle. It's this metal though that is like room temperature. You've never felt anything like it. It's slightly malleable. It's as soft as like gold. So you can actually like change like if you, matter of fact, if you were to like take your hand and really strongly go through this, you might even crush it. It's very delicate. He said, well, does this hold any affinity for you?
I mean, yeah, it's warm and metallic, but also flexible.
He says, well, most importantly though, do you think this is your wand? Because if not, you can try again.
I feel quite comfortable with it, honestly. Although it's fragile, it's kind of like me. Oh.
He said, wonderful. Now, he says, as the ticket holder, and especially given that you are on the upper tier here, he says, I want you to extend the wand. Think of hurting someone or something. Don't do it in my shop, though. I want you to do it outside. Go outside and do this. And I want you to tell me what happens when you come back in. Alright?
Okay, can I think of... Should I aim for something, or just...
Yes, disregard that, sorry. He says, just anything that's not a person. You don't want the auras coming over. And so you decide what you want to do. But point it at something, and something that you're comfortable with hurting, and then try it from there.
I'm gonna point at one of the that wall between the shop
Sure.
and where the flowers are.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is what ends up happening. So you think as hard as you can, and sure enough, this happens. Now it creates this like lasting piece of damage that goes away slowly, but it does impact the wall heavily. This would definitely hurt someone. Now, Ice is the only one from all of you that can use this wand until it's dangerous, and then the worst that can happen is your wand will short circuit. So after three successful back-to-backs of this, because I have a timer on it, you have a good chance of your wand short circuiting. You have to roll a 6 in order for it to keep going. Once it short circuits, though, all it does is you'll see it'll start to spark. You'll actually see this happen, and it just won't be able to cast anymore. On all of you, depending on your wand, and there's hidden things within the wands you choose. There's a hidden thing in every wand. You just won't be able to get them yet. You'll find them out as you start to use them. On all of the rest of you, the normal people that are not like sit here with magical tickets, you get 2 chances to use this wand. On the 3rd chance, you have to roll a 6. If you don't roll a 6 in quick succession, you can take a bleed mark on your wand itself. So they're not free. And as you start to do harder and harder enchantments, even ice, these will become more dangerous to you. Now, that's only in quick succession. You actually get a 5-minute interval. If you basically use it 3 times in 5 minutes, that's when the bad things start to happen. The rest of you 2 times in 5 minutes. He said, all right, so I assume that was successful. Everything works as intended. Blasted right into the wall, right? Black mark?
Yeah, black mark.
I heard it.
Glowing.
He said successful. Great. Who is next?
Casper says, me.
He says, okay, give me a number and color.
Blue 427.
He said blue 427. He said, I think that's a gothic wand. He says, oh, expensive. quite expensive. It's a good thing you have these, because I'm telling you right now, sir, you couldn't afford it. That's all right. It's exciting. He says,
I have good taste. What can I say?
He says, take a look, and I'm going to show it to you. He says, these are quite rare. I think these were once belonged to royalty a long time ago. But here you go. He said, what do we think? Sure enough, your wand definitely looks expensive. It's shorter than Ice's. It's much heavier. It's a little more unwieldy, but you do have, that's an actual faceted gem, even though it's flat. That is a real, like, turquoise or some kind of, like, sapphire gem. It is absolutely, like, carved with metallics. And then it has, like a little bit of gem inlay at the very end of it. It's quite small, though.
Sick. I'm a big fan.
Okay. He says, I see that, he says, go ahead and try it, and just let me know. Make sure it works, and we're all good.
Will do.
Alright, so you
Thank
walk
you.
outside. As he walks outside, sorry guys. Go through this. As he walks outside, who would like to go next? One day I'll fix that and get that proper. Alright. Well, come on. Who would like to go?
Casper waves his wand excitedly.
It's going to work, yeah, Casper, when you go outside. He says, well? He says, does no one else want a wand?
I'm just waiting for others to go first.
Of course, yeah, no, it's up to other people. He says, what about you, young lady? Did you here for a wand? He's looking at you, Kaida.
Are they AFK?
Might be. Niles, Robin, Kaida, any of you there?
I'll go.
Okay, alright, Niles there. Alright, he says, strapping young lad, I see. He says, so give me a number, and, man, I really broke the window here. Sorry, guys, give me 1 second.
We're just extra magic.
Yep. Alright, he says, so, go ahead and give me a number.
4.
4 and a color.
Blue.
Oh, blue again. He says 4. He says, he starts looking. He says, you know, the lowest numbers are the hardest to find. He says, this is interesting. And he says, and as he looks through his inventory, he says, he says, you know, I didn't think this. He said this one. He says, I'm not sure about this one. And he says, look, I'll be very honest with you. This wand was not actually meant for consumption. I think it's actually got a problem with it. It is basic, but I think it was once an illusionist wand. That said, you're more than welcome to try it. It is blue 4. He says here. And as he says that, let me get it to you. He says, just make sure that it actually can work with you. It does subtly glow like this. It is very strange. It's longer than it's definitely longer than Casper's, but it's not as long as the fairy wand.
Well, it matters how you use it, so.
It's not the size. Right, Casper?
He says, just see if this really works. If you want to pick, you can pick.
Okay, I will try it.
Alright. He says, good. He says, who's next?
I'll go.
He says, okay, young lady. He says, let's look through here and see what we find. Give me a color and a number.
Purple
Purple,
and
yeah.
500.
500. Alright, let's see. You're gonna have to make a sense roll, Robin, for a special reason, because you are aligned. So
no drive.
Sense roll. Yeah, Robin
Is that no
already
drive?
under the influence.
I have a failure.
Okay, that's fine. What is the number?
2.
All right. So, two. So, and what was he was 500 purple, right?
Yeah.
So he pulls out the wand, and he literally gasps. He says, what? He says, what his name is going on? He says, this is not the wand I pulled. And he pulls out this incredibly long wand. This is what it looks like. He said, I'm not sure I'm giving this to you. He says, what on God's name? And he looks at it. It's literally it's like made of bone in blood almost. It's got a literal glowing purple crystal into it. By the way, you instinctively understand as you see this thing that it is infused or has some kind of influence or power with the Skana themselves in this. Yeah, Robin is a little further than anyone else when it comes to the Eldritch Horrors, the God Horrors. So this is an effect or something that happens with that. You do not have to take this one, Robin, but this is the first one. He says, and it is, so it's long, it's sharp, it definitely seems a bit ominous, Robin. The interesting thing though is that you can see it's made of some kind of rare wood that has this stuff going through it. You're just not sure what's going on here. It's almost like this is bone and blood at the end, but then the crystal is just floating. He says, I have honest to God's never seen anything like this.
Does this completely make it obvious that I have connections?
No, I mean, no. So here's the thing. Honestly, no. Everyone will know that your wand is weirdly different than everyone else's wand. There's just this one, but again, you get other options. But no one would be able to look at this and say, no, this had anything to do with Skana. That's just secret knowledge and everything, so. You're the only one that has a floating gem on the inside, though. That's purple. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of like it.
So as you hold it, it's actually balanced. So the way that it's balanced is that you actually hold it through and you point with the pointing end, but this is a dual-purpose one. You could actually hold it the opposite direction. This is one of the rare ones where you can hold it either way. Have the gem facing out or the sharp side facing out. But yeah, if you like it, you can retain this one.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. All right. And by the way, ice, because I wasn't clear, if you do want to change your wand, you can as well. You have 3 chances. So, but on the 3rd chance, you have to just take the random number you chose. So.
With my flexible and likely fragile one.
Cool. All right. Awesome. Okay. He said, all right. And he said, be careful with that. By the way. All the wands have a hidden property underneath them. Every single one of them has something very unique. It will depend on if you unlock them. The only way to unlock them is to stay here a certain amount of time and do certain things. You will not be able to ever unlock your wands outside of this place, just as a heads up. So if you do want the special ability, you do have to wait around until. But anyway, all right. So he said, all right. He said, who's next?
I'll go next.
All right. He said, all right, young woman. Give me a color and give me a number.
I'll go with green and 315.
315, it says. And he starts to look. He said, interesting. And as he looks through and starts looking at these things, he says, I'm not sure that I see. And he says, this is weird. It's like one that's been hard on me. And he goes through and he looks, and he does eventually settle on something. And then he looks at it and he says, this one's a bit basic. He says, but, well, we'll see. He says, one thing I will say is that the handle on this is perfectly balanced, but a bit basic, he said. We'll see if it suits you. And sure enough, he shows you this. It is made of some kind of metal. It is quite basic. You can always choose again, though.
Yeah, I think I'll choose again.
Yep, okay. He says, alright, give me a name and a color.
I do black and 279.
Black 79. Let's see which one that is. He says, interesting. He says, so this one, he said, this is one of the Illuminous ones. He says, so it inherently has a special property. He says, now, this is a good and a bad thing. And as he shows it to you, you see what he's talking about. It literally has, you'll be able to see it in a second. It literally has an ever-glowing light on the end of it that will be on. So the good news is you're always going to have light. The bad news is, this is not the greatest wand to have unless you have to stick it in like your coat or something, because it's always lit. So if you're sneaking around, not the greatest wand. It does have this special metallic inlay that does something in the middle here, but you can always choose again. You don't have to take this one either.
I'm going for a third one.
Awesome. Okay. Cool deal. Alright. He said, alright, give me a color and a number.
Okay, I'm gonna do like the ashy color, whatever that was,
Yep.
and 120.
120, awesome. 1 second. There's a separate folder. Give me 1 second. The gray ones. Cool. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay. Alright, this is, yeah. Okay. He says, this is fascinating. He said, good choice. He says, this is interesting. This is a living wand. And he says, they're quite rare. And he says, so, here you go. So, hold on, let me get it full screen for you. He said, so, here's the difference. He says, within this wand itself, he says, are a couple things to keep in mind. First and foremost, do you see that root inside of it? That root is alive. He said it actually gains its substance from the bulb on the top there. That's a tiny terrarium. He says, and as it essentially lives, you need to be careful with this. So this root, and he points to it, can die. It certainly has special properties, and they will unravel as it goes. It's not necessarily tied to the plant life, something much greater actually. He said, so just, you have to keep care of it, meaning that it does every now and then, like once a month you need to water it. And he said, see this bulb here? This can never shatter. And he points to the glass thing. He says, but otherwise, this is a very powerful wand.
I like it.
Alright, he says. Okay, he says, and by the way, everyone that used their wands and liked it, it does work successfully through, as you suggested. It goes well. He says, so how did we all end up? Did the wands respond to everyone? Yes, yes?
Yes.
Evelyn's gonna step forward and say, I'm not sure if I even should have a wand. I've been told that I'm
Yes,
a person with...
I know, the handicap thing, awful, awful thing. No, we haven't forgotten about you. Of course, of course, of course, of course, of course. He says, now, here's what I will say. Normally it is against student procedure to ever come in and ask for more than 5 wands. That's why I assumed you already had one, miss. That said, show me your trinket.
Evelyn hands him the trinket that she has.
He said, this is highly suspicious. He says, be honest with me. all of you, right now. Who gave you these? You are going to get a wand, madam. Just tell me the truth. Who gave them to you? There is no way that you came in here late. Just tell me who gave them to you.
Somebody asked us to do some work, so we could start, using wands and advancing our studies. So we did some, general tests for them and was able to complete it successfully.
And to be fair, we didn't get a wand out of the bed when we arrived, which we thought was normal, but seems like it was not. So.
Well, first years, to be honest, don't get wands in general. However, you should have certainly learned about them. You should know why you don't have one, number one. And number two, you certainly should understand the dangers of having wands and how they exist. See, here's why I know you didn't go through classes, because none of you asked me what the purse string was, the heartstring, whatever. And quite frankly, it's actually better at this point not to know, given that the wands are already attuned to you. That said, I will tell you this. If you ever do gain true affinity with your wand, you will know everything about it. In which case the wand will tell you anyway. But that's how I knew. It's something suspicious here. He says, listen, if you have a trinket, I have to give you a wand. But I will tell you this is highly, highly irregular. I'm not saying that I won't be speaking to some, but what anyway, whatever. He says, tell me the color and number.
Evelyn's nervous. She doesn't know if a wand would actually work for her, so she's gonna just kind of speak up and say, I'm not sure if I should have one.
Oh, don't be silly, young woman. All people that come here have that handicap name. That's just a stupid name that there are many people that come across here as handicap. It doesn't mean anything. I know exactly where this is coming from. He says, give me a name and give me a color, give me a number. We will resolve this right now.
Okay, green 66.
He says, green 66. Interesting. He says, well, this is actually... He says, this is actually a scepter. He says, I don't know if this is too big for you, young woman. He said, let's try this out. This could be dangerous for you. He says, now listen. He says, as nice as a scepter looks, they are hard to conceal. And even though they have great magic running through them and are quite flashy, I'm telling you right now, they are unwieldy. That said, let's see what you think. And as he says that, this is by far the biggest one, and he's right. This is going to be very, very hard to conceal if you ever need to conceal it, and it's very, very flashy. So this is actually made. He says this is made of a living bark. He says this one is not technically alive, but it was formed by a druid. He said you can actually see the moonsteel crystal on the end there with the glowing crystal there. He said this is easy to break and it's quite large. If you want it, I won't stop you, but I will warn you from the scepter.
Evelyn's still nervous. She doesn't want to break anything, so she's gonna say, "Can we go with blue 66 instead?"
He says, "Yes, blue 66." He says, and as he goes through and looks, he goes through and starts to go through all of his boxes. He says, "Those lower numbers." He says, "There's a little bar here." He says, "It's fine though. I will find it." And as he starts to look through everything, sure enough, he does find one. He says, this is interesting. He says, "This one's quite fascinating." He said, "This one is very, very unique. It's a little ominous," he says, but he says it's, I don't know. Let's see what you think. And sure enough, you kind of are like you've never seen a wand like this. It's a little shocking. It does have these blue crystalline things in it, and it's made out of bone. He tells you that's real gold on the end, and it's a serrated blade almost that's tied to it. He said, "Well, what do you think?"
Is this sharp enough to cut somebody with?
You can shank someone.
It's definitely sharp enough to poke someone, just like, so it's not, so this edge around the end of it is not sharp enough to cut, but it is absolutely sharp enough to stab. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think Evelyn's gonna go for this one. She needs something.
Really? Woman, that is a brutal wand, are you sure?
Yeah,
Really?
I'm sure. I don't know. Should I not?
He says, no, it's up to you. This is how these things work. The wand needs to speak to you. He says, honestly, I'd be worried that wand would slit my throat. What the heck is that thing? But whatever, it's up to you. It's up to you, young woman.
Okay, I'm gonna take it.
He says, all right. He says, wonderful. He says, well, he says, listen. He says, wands are something to be careful with. Use them too often, and they will fight back. Understand that. He says, I would only use a wand once every 5 minutes. You can always use them more than that, but understand that wands are somewhat alive, especially on the inside. Also, especially for some of you that have the rare wands, if it speaks to you, it's not completely abnormal. Sometimes they do. It just depends. He said, also, there are no refunds. You could never bring the wand back. If you need to dispose of a wand, though, you will be bringing it back to me. Do you understand? The last student that tried to throw his wand away, and it kept coming back to him after breaking it, well, let's just say he's not with us anymore. Understand?
Are there black boxes to choose from?
There are black boxes, yes.
What? Can I look at black number 4? 4 is my favorite number.
You absolutely can. The thing is, if you choose another one again, you lose the option of you have to kind of take it, unfortunately. But yes, you absolutely can do that.
Okay. I want to try for black number 4.
Awesome. Okay. Very cool. Give me 1 second. All right. Blacks are cool. Just give me 1 second.
I'm so curious about your wand selection on your end.
So what I do is I took every single wand within this 3D application, and then I took all the wands within Harry Potter, and then I have a program that can put it in a database, and then they sort them by, I have like a theme on what each color is, essentially. You sort them by the theme, and then it's just a number that I choose randomly.
Cool.
That brings them up, yeah. Black is an interesting theme, you'll see. It's actually one that I didn't have up either, so just give me 1 second. So. Almost there. Oh yeah. This would be a third selection for you, or is this second? You have another option?
Is second, yeah.
That's right, second. Okay, no worries. All right. Yep, no worries at all. Hold on 1 second. Oh yeah, this thing's crazy. Hold on. Yeah, so you said black number 2, right?
4.
Oh, 4. Okay, hold on. 4 is even crazier though. Hold on 1 second. All right, well let me show you this first. This is one of the craziest ones. I've never even seen this one actually. All right, so this is black number 4. So he does show it to you. He says you're taking this out of the box, not me. And he shows it to you, and it is literally this thing, like literally made of thorns. But the thorns are somewhat metallic. The end here has a very strange symbol with glowing purple flower thing. It actually looks like it's metallic on this end, but yeah, this is definitely. I mean, this is so sharp and so metallic that if you had to, and by the way, this is large too. This is also not something easily concealed, and if you do, you could hurt yourself concealing yourself in it. But you could literally use this as a weapon on top of it. This would work as like a de facto mace or something. It's so sharp, but it's very sturdy.
Oh hell yeah! Emo for life. I'm taking it.
You want this one? Okay.
Yeah.
So as you feel it, It's a little lighter than you expect, number one. It is slightly vibrating, which is a little unnerving. Every now and then, these things move. You can see it. It's super slow. And, yes, at a last-ditch effort, now granted, you can break their wand this way, but it's unlikely. But as a last-ditch effort, if your life was being threatened, and you wanted to seriously injure someone by shoving this in someone's face, you could totally kill blind, really destroy someone with this thing. If you were to stab it at them or even like hit them with this. This is like a gnarly, dangerous kind of weapon thing. But it does act as a wand, so yeah, you can have this.
Alright, I will take it.
Cool. Yep. Does anyone else want to change theirs? He says, okay. He says, well, that was fascinating. Normally it's not this diverse or even animated. He says, madam, and he looks at you, Robin. He says, do come back and tell me how that works. I didn't know you had wands of this nature. It's something about it gives me a strange feeling. But anyway, come back and tell me, especially how, at the end of the year, I want you to come back and give me your progress. It's interesting enough that I might actually keep a journal about it.
All right.
He says, wonderful. All right, so what would we like to do? So you walk outside. This did take a little bit. It's now properly dark outside. Sorry guys, do you know what time is it right now?
10:20.
Okay, yeah, so we have 2 minutes. So, as everyone looks around and goes starts to think of their wands and everything else, you have a couple options. You can go back to your common room and make preparations for the next day. What you can also do though is, now that you've kind of unlocked having wands, and now that you have the specific enchantment that you have, you can send out for the groundskeeper. And if you want to start tomorrow, we'll start this next session, you can start real classes. That's an option on the table now. You can start limited but very real classes with wands.
Hell yeah.
You can, of course, just go exploring too, and if you wanted to, you could even go into the Dark Forest now. It's up to you guys. So. Oh,
Is
one
there...
last thing. You remember this. So, Evelyn, you get a shudder and a strange feeling as you go through it. You have always wondered why this shop was set up this way, and you were told to not go within the store because it's not hers. Because she was part of Bingle and Blage, apparently, like on one side. But you were always curious. And now that you're here seeing it again after everything that's happened, the curiosity gets the better of you. And you want to see how this works. Because this is your shop, so I'll go into it real quick. This is your shop that you came from, that you lived in for 3 weeks. But, if you look on the outside, it makes no sense. This door should just go into your shop. And it looks much smaller than it should be, if that makes sense.
Yeah, Evelyn lets her curiosity get the better of her, and she's gonna test the handle, see if the door opens.
It does. And what's really strange is, as you walk in and the door closes, by the way, for everyone else the door is locked, but you are inside. So if you hear them going through, you will hear them trying to get in, but they can't.
Can I pick it?
You can certainly try to pick it. Yeah, you can try. Yeah. You can, Evelyn, if you want, you can try to reopen this door too, if you want to.
Okay, she's gonna try to open the door again.
So you
see if it unlocks for her.
You do see that Niles is picking it on the outside, but you are able to open it. Niles is like, whoa, like Niles, you stand back. You don't break the lockpick on this. But...
Niles, you can always ask. Use your words.
So you walk in, and this is a completely different, separate shop. You've never seen it before, and this is what you see on the inside. So, there is this strange podium with a book on it. There is also literally a bag crystal coins on the inside.
Evelyn's gonna pick that up.
Yeah, you took that thing. So as you pick up the coins, so this has 50 of those coins, the current currency from it that you can just keep now. The crystal coins that are used to purchase things here.
What kind of books are these? Like, what kind of knowledge do they hold?
Yeah, so as you start to go through and look at them, these are actually ledgers, business ledgers. And they're business ledgers of various businesses that have nothing to do with Bingle and Blanche or clothing or anything in general. They look like they have to do with essentially like goods and services or imports and other things, but they're different businesses. As you go through and look at this one here, this is a list of names, and this seems to be of people's net worth. Maybe within the village or just in general, you have no idea, but it seems to be a list of every single person's name, and there's a number tied to it. That number seems to be a monetary number. The people don't seem like you don't know who these people are. Like none of them, like for you, yeah.
Is Evelyn's name in there?
So, as you start to look, it's not on this page. You go through and start looking and looking and looking and looking, and then sure enough, eventually, after 25 minutes of searching, you will eventually find your name. And it will have as many of the crystalline coins that you currently have within your possession. Let's say you had none at this time, and now 50. It will say you have 50.
Okay, so I want to test something out. Can I find one of our group's names in there? Like, can I see if Casper's in there?
Right, so after a while, so it's hard to find, but as you go through a ton of pages and you persevere and keep going, remember you spent 25 minutes in here already, after around 30 minutes or so, you finally find Casper's name.
Casper, can you hold on to this bag for me, just really quickly?
Sure.
And as that happens, the number magically changes to 50 more coins.
Okay. 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 Oh shoot, is there a way to be able to take photos of these pages so I can look over them later?
You can. Yes, you can take
Okay.
photos of them, yes. You can't take photos of all of them. Remember, you have a limited amount of so while you can take photos, you have to know what you're trying to get at, because remember, you only have 30 photos.
Right, okay, never mind.
Yeah, one.
Never mind. Yeah, Okay. I don't want to spend too much time in here. Is there anything else of note in this room before I kind of explore more?
You start looking around. There is a device that's in pieces over here. It looks like it's a wax seal device of some kind, though. And then there are paintings. There's this as well. This is some kind of anatomy. It's written in a language you guys don't understand. It talks about beasts and monster anatomy and maybe human anatomy. There's a fireplace. There is a book on some kind of dragon stand. As you start to read it, this is a history and intimate knowledge of dragons. And then you have all these books stacked up here that have to do with different businesses.
Okay. Can I find a person that has like the highest number next to their name, Lady Ventrix or the old shopkeep that I used to work with?
Yeah. So you can definitely look for Lady Ventrix's name if you'd like to. Is that what you like to do?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So. It takes you. Lady Ventrix is actually easier to find because for whatever reason her name is written larger than the rest. Certain times other names are written larger too. But for now, Lady Ventrix does reach out to you. She has a number literally in the millions. So it's 2,475,000 coins.
Well, Miss Ventrix is rolling in it. What can we do with this information, do you think?
Blackmail.
Seems like she's been holding out on us. Is there any indication of like what these crystal coins can buy or what their value is?
Yeah, so they did see them in the. So there's a candy shop or whatever. One coin is around the equivalent in today's money of around $10 or so. So 2 million is almost $20 million worth of money.
Right. Well, I don't know if this is going to be at all helpful for us trying to survive the Forbidden Forest, but I guess it's good that we know kind of who we're messing with. On
Is
that
her
note,
last name in the book?
oh yeah, what is her last name?
So she is actually titled Lady Ventrix within the book.
Rude. On that note, do you guys know why Lunas Graves doesn't trust Lady Ventrix? Like, I'm asking the group, like, what do you think that means as far as, like, who we've been able to first interact with and essentially work for? Have you guys always had a feeling of distrust for her?
I trusted her with my life, Pepper says, but then she told me that my mom was going to bite my face, and my mom is maybe not going to bite my face. So she is a bad witch.
Yeah, she also has some, strange insight of stuff we found and did not show her. That was a little nerve-wracking for a moment.
Well, we do have a queen spider that wants permission to eat somebody. Would that be eating her Lady Ventrix?
No, that would make me sad.
Yeah, we also have a
Which is kind of like my mom,
weird
but
folk in a
my mom-
box.
Yeah. Lady Ventrix is kind of like my mom, but if my mom had like a giant sharp stick that wanted to like kill you with it.
Oh, Pepper. Sweet Pepper.
Then my feathers
I'm
are
not
coming
sure.
back. I'm really happy about my feathers.
Evelyn's gonna start to help Pepper preen a little bit, cracking the.
Oh, I didn't tell you, but you know what? I know a little bit about those rooms. The moon rooms, they are super cool. They are so cool. Okay, so the moon rooms, I don't know if I heard about them, and they have little baby creatures. They have little baby cats in them. Little baby cats or little baby creatures. Or like, I don't know, creatures in them. And then you go and you have all these creatures and they love you. The end.
I really want this room now. I want all of the little creatures and animals.
Yeah, that's what someone told me. They told me they have all the creatures inside of them.
Well, Evelyn has a goal in mind now. Pepper, have you ever seen those owl statues that Mr. Graves was telling us earlier?
No, I don't think I have seen them, but I think they're little shape changers. Isn't that what someone told me? The things that hold the moons are like bad omens and super dangerous. You don't touch them. Yeah, you don't touch those things. And by the way, they're not even supposed to be in the castle. They are from outside, and we're not supposed to touch them. He did not tell us everything.
Good thing we have you on the team then, Pepper.
Yeah, because they're moonstones. The moonstones are super valuable, but also dangerous. Yeah. Yeah, I remember. Moonstones. Yep.
Well, is there
Yeah,
anything
can
else
we
that we
look
can...
at Graves' name on the book?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so you guys go back and look at the book. Yeah, Lunas Graves. So after around 20 minutes of looking, you have to go through page by page. It's painstaking. As you do that, you do find Lunas Graves. Lunas Graves has a number of coins equal to 50,746. Still quite a few. Still a good number, but nowhere near Lady Ventrix.
Is there anything else that we want to look at or look for while we're in Hogsmeade?
I want some really good candy. I want some super good candy.
We can go get some candy. Evelyn's pretty nervous about even trying the wand. Is there like a spell book store that we could like get some knowledge on or how-tos on how to use our wands? Or maybe how to unlock the, ability of your wand?
Pepper says, I don't have fingers. I don't know, because I never got to use one.
Oh, okay.
He says, I could try with my beak, and let's see what happens.
But is there a store where we could find books to help us understand, Pepper?
I think maybe the candy shop is good for that too.
I promise we'll go to the candy shop. There's no question about that.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Okay.
I really don't know.
Okay. Well, then
maybe
first stop is candy
we could go
store.
Talk to the one. We could talk to the one person and just say like, give us all your information right now, because we have scary people. And then he looks at Kaida and says, "You could try to make us be super scary. Remember when someone said you could be scary?"
Ooh, it'd be super scary.
And say, "Tell us right now. 5 minutes now."
Absolutely.
I love it. Well, yeah, I guess let's go to the candy store, but we'll stop by the wand store and ask if he knows of a bookstore we can go to. Yay, shopping!
Cool. All right. So with that, we'll go ahead and end the session there, and we can start off after going to the candy store. We can start off going through that, unless you guys want to go through the candy store too, and we can play that out. Oh, the other thing is that if I end up getting, just so you guys know, if I end up getting multiple groups, shopping is actually going to be important, and as a matter of fact, it will be important for you guys as well. What I'm going to do so the other groups can meet each other, this depends, because I've already had groups that have died. And what I might do is, to get you guys to interact easier, I might actually set another group up in this place. I don't know yet. If I do, they're not going to have the prestige class option, so I have to figure it out. But what I will do is, on shopping trips, for the people that can do it, I will set aside literally extra days that are not part of our sessions, and that way you can actually meet people from other groups. That'll be the idea. And it's just for shopping. It's literally just for Hogsmeade. And you just go around and pick up your stuff or whatever. And it'll only be like an hour and a half or whatever. But that way you can meet other groups too.
Oh, fun.
That's cool, yeah.
Yeah, so. Alright, cool.
Sorry.
Awesome. Okay, so we will start here next time. Thank you guys. And like I said, this will get to the point. Yeah, no worries. And this will get to the point, now that you have wands, now that you have an option to get to classes. And by the way, even getting a broom, you still have to learn how to fly it. And there's a whole thing with broom. It's not like the game. You have to. So what you do is you pre-roll on your move rolls, and they're important because brooms are a little unpredictable, and you can hurt yourself on them. And you'll see how that works in a scripted way. I have a thing that's cool for that. And then the other thing is that you guys will soon get a chance, just like you're going to get a chance, Niles, on the living walks. Once you unlock those, you'll be able to fly with brooms or whatever. And you can literally fly anywhere. It's just you'll find, I'll spoil this, out of character. It's built into the game anyway, which is awesome, but because I wanted to do this anyway. But out of character, there's sensible protections, so you can't just fly into Hogsmeade, because that would be a disaster in real life. So what they do is they have these borders set up, these magical borders across everything. And so you won't be able to fly anywhere you want, but a lot of places you can fly. And then out of character, when we leave here, the broom is certainly something, like everything you have, that you can take with you, which is crazy powerful in the actual other place. So
Very cool. Yeah, there won't be magical barriers to keep us out.
Exactly.
In the real world.
Flying around with brooms, exactly.
Yeah. I did have some questions about like leveling up and stuff. I don't know, like the group said that has like more of a narrative drive than like actual accomplishments drive.
Yes.
So I just wanted to check in and like understand
you guys are
how
very close. Yeah, so once you get your wands, you're technically at the place. So start thinking about what you guys want to do anyway when you fill up your circle, but you guys are in a place where we're getting into the first ramp where you will actually level. Yeah.
No, I just kind of wanted to understand the mechanics behind it, but
How
it sounds
works?
like it's more.
Yeah, so it works for now. It works exactly like it works within Candela. So what'll end up happening is if there's a number of different things that you get, like for instance dice and other things going through it, there's circle abilities that you'll be able to that are powerful that lets you like unlock other things. But as it stands, I've built a bunch of other things on the ramp for leveling. So because you guys have some people have custom classes and some people have other things, you're going to actually get abilities that you can't even see on Demiplane that I will add once we go through the first leveling. That's the first thing that'll happen is that everybody gets an extra ability that they can add on if they wish to.
Okay, totally makes sense. Yeah, I was just looking at I was trying to understand the mechanics of it, but I mean, it's good to know that we're close.
The leveling is a little weird in Candela because it's mostly that, and then you get extra abilities. And then if you look at the circle thing, the group gets to choose once. It's basically like filling out a whole. Yeah, when you level the first time, it's like filling out your whole enlightenment circle. You guys, there's a number of things you get to choose built on investigations, and then we'll go from there. But the leveling is a little. You'll see. It's
wishy-washy.
That, and it's really only made for you to go through this with 6 sessions or 10 sessions. It's not made for anything like we're doing. That's why I had to build all these new abilities and stuff. So that's what I mean. Leveling is also built on item gathering is your real leveling. Gaining items and doing things like you're doing currently, that's the true leveling behind the game. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. All the other characters are actually ahead of you, Evelyn, because they got into this thing called the Trinity Room, and they all have these special innate abilities. You will definitely get a chance as you get back to get into that kind of stuff, and you'll have chances here to get things that are unique to you. But they've already technically secretly leveled in that respect more than any of the other groups because they found this Trinity Room that was very hard to get into. It's not as fun.
Evelyn will catch up eventually. She's nervous for a reason.
Yeah, but you'll have tons of opportunity to catch up here. And by the way, because you were separated, you are on a different trajectory anyway. It's a risk versus reward thing. You may never get to it. It may never pop up. But because you came in separately when I put you in through another group and you didn't actually come here with a ticket, there's something that you have that's interesting. But you have to see if we get to there and see if it's something that's unlocked. But yeah.
Okay, well, I'll be on the lookout. Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
Well, this was fun, guys. Great job.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Great job.
One more session was scratched.
Yep.
Staying alive, Ace.